connectivity across all three platforms. How you doing? How you doing? Good evening. I'm James with the Hat and Beard Show. We got news and notes from around the NFL. Talking bust alert. 8 NFL players running out of time to prove themselves entering the Big 2-6 season. We'll see what CBS Sports has for us before going and talking about the Detroit Lions. The Lions may have turned a one-game emergency into a possible full-time plan for the Big 2-6. We'll take a look what A to Z Mike Payton, the Slipper, has for us. We're going to go over to the Pride of Detroit. Lions intrigued by undrafted free agent defensive end. Quote, how did we get this guy undrafted? The Detroit Lions have shown some early intrigue in UDFA defensive end Anthony Lucas. Jeremy Reisman has a couple articles for us. And then the Detroit Lions defense making a slight tweak for the 2026 season. Something we all kind of anticipated, expected. We're all kind of sitting around waited on bated breath to see what kind of new defense the Lions roll with us. So a bunch of changes happening in Detroit. Players, new guys in, new positions. We will look at all that, taking your chats and much more. What's going on, Trippy? How you doing? How you doing, Mom? Good to see you guys hanging out in the chat over on YouTube. Don't forget, you got to be a subscriber if you want to engage in the chat with the rest of Mad Hatter Nation, who is a bastion of sanity over in a sea of nonsense. Appreciate it. Hit the like button. Share this around with all your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell so you can be notified every single time we go live Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. right here at YouTube, Rumble, and Kick. Appreciate you guys. We're going to go ahead and kick it on over to my guy Jocko and get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, guys. So CBS Tyler Sullivan has first 8 players who could be bust. Really? CJ Stroud, huh? That's not someone we were, after that prolific rookie season, were we really thinking that CJ Stroud was going to be a guy that we'd be labeling as a bust? But the shine has certainly come off of CJ Stroud in recent years after a stellar rookie season. The Texans quarterback production has dipped, and he's seemingly hit rock bottom last postseason. Well, that means there's only nowhere to go but up, right? Stroud had the most combined fumbles and interceptions, 10, through the first 2 games of the postseason in the last 35 seasons. Wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. That's not good. That included 4 interceptions in a divisional round loss to the Patriots, which truly shook confidence in him as a franchise quarterback. Stroud is eligible for an extension, but one has not yet materialized, which adds speculation that Houston shares some of those concerns. Why he'll bust? Stroud's numbers continue to look more like a quarterback he's been over the last 2 seasons, with a passer rating of 85.5 than the one his rookie year of 100.8. Especially with Houston set to have the 7th toughest strength of schedule, based on projection win totals, in the NFL next season. So a little bit of an uphill battle for him. Why he won't bust? Houston built a better roster around Stroud, adding starters along the offensive line. A capable running back in David Montgomery, hey, Demo, and getting a top receiver, Nico Collins, back healthy. Collins did not play in that 4-interception divisional round loss. Right, because he would have not thrown interceptions. because Nico Collins is the one throwing the ball. Right. Yes. No, I don't know. But the prediction by CBS is that they won't bust. Hey, look at that, J.J. McCarthy. I think we all know why the Vikings quarterback will end up busting out. Why he'll bust. The Vikings brought a legitimate competition with Kyler Murray this offseason, and the veteran appears to have the inside track to winning the job with Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. I guess I said that right. The GM who selected McCarthy fired earlier this offseason. Arguably McCarthy's biggest supporter. Yeah. Sayonara. Bon voyage. See you later. Auf Wiedersehen. You know what I'm saying? Goodbye. You're gone along with J.J. McCarthy's career. Why he won't? Murray has hardly been an Iron Man in recent seasons. Yeah, but he is the mighty midget, which could give McCarthy an avenue towards becoming the Vikings starter in 2026 and proving himself. He is only 23 years old and went 4-0 over his final 4 games last season. CBS predicts, yeah, you're going to bust. Not a good look. Brian Thomas Jr. In his 3rd season, drafted number 23 overall in 2024. He did have an otherworldly rookie season, setting a franchise record with 87 catches, 1,200 receiving yards, and 10 touchdowns in 2024. But then we all know that he kind of just absolutely ran into a buzzsaw in 2025 and just fell off a cliff. Receivers Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers seemingly leapfrogged him for targets. That's not even mentioning Travis Hunter's role in the passing game. Why he'll bust? There may be too many mouths to feed for Thomas to fully break back out. Between Washington, Myers, and Hunter, the targets may not be there for him to reemerge. Well, this is in a perfect situation where these guys continue to play at the level they were last year and maintain their health and trajectory. But you could see Brian Thomas maybe strike, or maybe Brian Thomas gets a little trade action, a little give and a little take, you know what I'm saying? If only Diana Rossini was there to break the news for us, but Diana Rossini, she ain't really doing the thing. Why he won't? Thomas is simply too talented. He's already been impressing at minicamp, and while the sophomore numbers weren't great, working in his 2nd year with Liam Cohen's offense should give him a better foundation. CBS predicts that he will not bust, and I'm not the biggest Jags fan or follower, but I think Brian Thomas is too talented of a player to bust. Maybe that is needing just not even being in Liam Cohen's offense. Maybe this is just a full-on change of pace somewhere else. Miles Murphy, the Bengals defensive end with the 28th pick in the 2023 draft out of Clemson, went the first 2 years of his career. Murphy didn't start a single game and logged just 3 sacks in 30 games. Yeah, it's not going to get it done, bud. However, he began to show flashes in his 3rd season of 2025. He started 10 of 17 games and recorded a career-high 5.5 sacks. All right, some rotationary defensive end sacks there. They did not pick up his 5th-year option, meaning he entered the final year of his rookie deal in the Big 2-6 and is set to become a free agent next offseason. Why CBS says he will bust? The production hasn't been there for most of his career, and he may get lost in the shuffle of Cincinnati's revamped defensive line. While the Bengals lost Trey Hendrickson in free agency, they added Boye Mafe and drafted Cassius Howell in the 2nd round. Pair those two with the 2025 first-round pass rusher Shamar Stewart, and Murphy could be jockeying for snaps. Why he won't bust? Murphy showed the Bengals he can produce when given a starting role. Since adopting a full-time starting role in Week 9, he tallied 4 sacks and 37 tackles over 9 games. Hey, okay. That little 9-game sample size, you might be able to build on that right there. Maybe get yourself a little bag elsewhere in the offseason. Prediction: he won't bust. And looks who is it? Oh, we got a couple more here. We got Malik Willis. Malik Willis, somebody who Lions fans are all too familiar with. Both, if you guys remember a time getting the old Wayback Machine. You guys remember when people wanted and were projecting that the Lions would take Malik Willis at number 2 overall and not Aiden Hutchinson? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? The chicanery! On top of that, of course, we know that his tenure in Tennessee was a short-lived experiment before landing in Green Bay for, 2 years there? I don't know, a year. On one hand, he was a great start for the Packers and is now signed to the Dolphins to be their starter, following head coach Jeff Hafley and GM John Eric Sullivan from Green Bay. Kind of the whole, melted cheese. They're going from the Packers or the Cheeseheads to Miami, where they're going to be I don't know what cheese goes on a Cuban sub. There you go. They're that kind of cheese. Or liquidy nacho cheese. Why he'll bust? The Dolphins are bad in 2026. Making quite a statement there. Any given Sunday, friend, they claw with their fingernails for that inch. But, no, I think you're pretty safe in assuming that the Dolphins are bad in 2026. They'll own a high first-round pick in 2027, which has a loaded, high-caliber quarterback prospect. Even after signing a 3-year, $67.5 million contract in March, Willis could see Miami move on from here in a year from now, even if it isn't entirely his fault. A good couple $20-some million a year, even if it's just 1 year. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, please. Sign me up for that. Yeah, I'll take one of those. I'll take one of those contracts, even if it is on a bad fiddlesticks. You want me to come leave Green Bay, Wisconsin? Gross. To go and live in a tax haven state like Florida? Specifically, you want me to live in Miami? Even if it is for a 1 year, 1 of 3 year deal that I signed, you're going to pay me 20-some mil. Let me ask you this, chat. Would you go and quarterback a bad Dolphins team to go live in Miami for a cool, even if it is just a 1 year, $20-some million stint? Yeah, sign me up. Why he won't bust over the last 2 seasons in Green Bay? Willis went 2-1. Completed 80% of his passes and posted 132.4 passer rating. During that span, he ranked first in yards per attempt with 11.3 and yards per rush with 8.3. If he comes close to those numbers over a full season, it'd be difficult for Miami to replace him regardless of where it's picking. But the prediction is that he will bust. Yes, and I would probably have to agree with that. Then we got a couple wide receivers. We got a few more names here. You guys, nobody cares about Keon Coleman, right? Go ahead and just keep him over there in Buffalo. You all deal with that little 500, after logging 500 yards and averaging 19 yards per catch as a rookie. His numbers dropped in year 2. To make matters worse, following the firing of Sean McDermott, owner Terry Pagula effectively blamed the coaching staff for the selection instead of GM Brandon Beane. Ooh, yeah, it doesn't bode well for you. I think your career's done in Buffalo. Let's go. Marvin Harrison Jr. Well, he's the number 4 overall pick in 2024, right? Big last name, kind of a lot of little prestige. Why he'll bust? On top of other targets leapfrogging him, Harrison may not be fully healthy. He noted earlier this month that he's still working his way back to 100% after dealing with appendicitis, 2 heel injuries, and a concussion from last year. If he remains banged up, it'll be even harder for things to finally click. Yeah, 2 heel injuries. I don't know how many of you guys have extra heels But maybe he needs to just go to wearing some like flats or something. Obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. Heels, maybe heels aren't a good look for you, dude. If you've already gone through 2 heel injuries, maybe switch to flats, dude. Why he won't? The talent is there for Harrison to become a star receiver. Maybe all it takes is a new head coach like Mike LaFleur to help settle things down. But the prediction is he will bust. And finally, Michael Penis Jr. I can't help myself. It's a tough spot this summer. While he was drafted to be the franchise cornerstone following Atlanta's stunning selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, things have gone downhill. Yes, they have. The third-year quarterback struggled when he was on the field and is now set to battle. Wow, it's going to be I can't wait to watch that quarterback battle between Michael Penis Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa. Wow. Can't wait to watch just a bunch of backwards-ass offense for the starting job rehabbing from a torn ACL. Why he will bust. Penix is 4-8 as a starter and completed just 59.6% of his career passes. Even without considering the injury, Tagovailoa is a far more proven starter. That's a fucking statement right there. He's a... Dude. Tua is a far more proven starter. Yeah. When he's not dead on the field. Damn, dude. Why he won't for the struggles he's faced on the field with injuries. Penix still offers some upside than Tagovailoa. Really? So your options are destroyed ACL man or pudding brain. Which way, Western man? With the new coaching staff in place and more weapons at his disposal, there is an avenue for him to become a productive starter, but CBS, of course, saying yes, he will bust. Yes. No surprise when Michael Penix Jr. craps out of the league. I don't think CJ Stroud will crap out. I think CJ Stroud's going to be just fine. McCarthy, yep, total bust. Brian Thomas Jr. definitely will suffice. Miles Murphy, nobody cares. Malik Willis, nobody cares. Keon Coleman, nobody cares. You got to love the offseason. You gotta love the offseason. It is filler, which is why I'm singing the song to try and drag out the watch time. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. How we doing, chat? Sorry, I was kind of drag ass in there for a little bit, guys. How we doing? Swiss cheese, pulled pork, ham, pickle, mustard, Cuban bread, and if you're in Tampa, we add salami. I didn't know Swiss cheese was on a Cubano. Quite a cultural infusion. Yeah, my like button was a soccer ball too, and I don't like it. That's weird. Defense replacing Demont successfully are my 2 most important keys to the team. Hell yeah. BJ proudly suffered from being overrated. I agree. I agree with you there, guy. Excuse me. Pardon me. From under the ocean cheese. Yeah, that sounds about right, dude. It's the floater cheese. That's the floater. Malik is obviously a future Hall of Famer with numbers like those, dude. Yeah, if you that he's, career numbers. He's 2-1 with a 11.3 passer or a completed average, and 8.3 rush yards. Yeah, those are Hall of Fame numbers. From a sample size this big. My neighbors are out calling for their chickens. It's fun time. The most confusing thing I've ever heard is the contract the Raiders gave Cousins. Yeah, you know what, though, man? Here's the thing with Kirk Cousins, dude. He's just stacking paper, dude. I don't know how he fleeced the Falcons. And then he was able to parlay that somehow and fleece the Raiders. Kirk Cousins is just stacking. You see what I'm saying about whole like, yeah, I'm going, yeah. Oh, my finger. Oh, I can't play no more. Oh, I could take a couple $1 million. Oh, no. Oh, no. Mongolian Trojan horse. Oh, a very clever Mongolians. You tried to knock down my shitty wall for last time. What do we have here? What's up, Sam? No, Sam. Sam Armstrong is never late nor early. Sam Armstrong arrives precisely when he intends to. 3 demerits. Trippy's clipping you with 3 demerits, though. Sorry, bud. What's up, Rick? For an NFL salary, I'll play the Browns. Miami is at least twice the yes, dude. Exactly. That's exactly my point. Miami has the nice weather, dude. For NFL money, I'll go be on the practice squad. Yeah. Oh, yep. Sounds a lot better than working like a wage slave, dude. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of possible practice squad players, the Lions. You guys remember when was it? Yeah, year one, year two. I want to say it was year 2-ish. Things are still kind of newish. And we tried out a little thing. You guys remember when we tried a little thing at tight end, little bunches of oats? Well, the Lions may have turned a 1-game emergency into a possible full-time plan for the Big 2-6. What could it be? What could we Judas Priest, Barbara. It's one of them flaming bags again. Well, don't put it out with your boots, Ted. Oh, it's poop again. Gotta hit this water, guys. Sorry about that. All right. And I gotta say, one of you guys, I'm thinking it was Raw who was talking about this. Who do we have here? Oh, a little Jackson Meeks action. The Lions did something interesting out of complete necessity late in the season last year. With all of their tight ends very loose, they needed to put someone out there to fill in their loose end. Instead of grabbing a free agent and tightening their ends, well, they threw undrafted rookie wide receiver Jackson Meeks in there. They said, hey, fiddly D, go on out there and let me see what you can be. This was expected to be a one-time thing, but then the Lions continued to work him with the tight ends at practice for the rest of the year. We never got to see him do it in game again. Now this summer at OTAs, Meeks is yet again working with the Lions tight ends during positional drills. As we head towards training camp, you have to wonder what Detroit's plans to do with him. He's a bigger receiver in height, but the weight is a little lower than you'd like there at 218 pounds. But you can see how the Lions could do a Devin Funchess-like move with him and have him be an additional receiving tight end. And not for nothing, I do have to admit that, I talked a lot of shit about that kid out of Michigan. Was it Colston Loveland, right? Went to the Bears. And I was like, oh, he's a fat, slow wide receiver. And too light to play tight end. You ain't gonna make it. You don't take a tight end in the first round. Hey, you don't take a tight end in the first round. Hey, everybody knows you don't take a tight end in the first round. Well, I had to go ahead and eat all the crow and look like a complete jackass, and his numbers proved to be wrong. We did try this. You can see the Lions could do this with a Devin Funchess-like move with him to be an additional tight end. Yeah, it could work. Look, what do we talk about all the time? We talk about all them Swiss Army knife players. What can you do for me? I hate to use this term because it reflects on the American workforce, but how can we cross-train you to do somebody else's job in a pinch? Get on down there on the line, son. Let me see you get your face. Come on, run blocking drills. Jackson Meeks, face on. Fingers out, thumbs are up, butt is down, back is flat, and we're taking 1,000,000 steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's go. But you know what, dude? Here's the thing. if you could get Jackson Meeks up to like a 225, 230, well, you could be getting into a little bit more of a, a little bit more viability at the tight end spot with a little bit more lead in his keister. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more lead in his ace. He's not getting, hucked around by the 3-4 defensive ends that are 300 pounds. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But you got a little athleticism, a little wiggle, little you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A little mismatch with the linebacker. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A little bit more than your like inline tight end. You know what I'm saying? I could see where the maneuverability might be fascinating, but need to get them run blocking techniques up there, though, son. You're gonna be a tight end. You're gonna get your nose in there. Now. What up, Raw? Dude. Raw, my guy. This now is 2 shows in a row where I have talked about. Last week, it was Giovanni Manu, and then you just appeared in the chat. Today, I started talking about Jackson Meeks playing tight end, which I'm pretty sure you talked about all like through the bunch of the offseason, and here you appear in the chat. Is there like something in the Canadian air that when I discuss things that you have specifically brought up that you just like it just like sets off like maple syrup like alarms or something like that? Do the trees start flowing? Do the taps overrunneth? Oh, he's better than Eric Ebron. Yeah, dude, but let's be honest. Nah, the hardest thing to do. I mean, when you look at what Eric Ebron could have been, just based on the athleticism, it's like, man, if only you could have just put it together. And like, not for nothing, think about how cursed Detroit's kind of been with tight ends, right? Pettigrew, Ebron. I remember being all hype around Casey Fitzsimmons. Didn't we have like Marcus Pollard or something like that from the Colts way back when? We just like perpetually had this cursedness to tight ends, right? And then here comes along Sam Laporta. Hopefully the back injury. Hey, shout out. Did I see Sam Laporta's having a kid, dude? Or is that old news? I was just kind of scrolling Reddit earlier today. You know what I'm saying? Tua is going to turn into a vegetable live on TV if they don't quit paying him. Dude, at a certain point, somebody has to stop him from playing football. He's going to die, Yeah, I know. We took Ebron in the first. Dude, I know, bro. Eric Ebron and Brandon Pettigrew are why I have such a aversion to tight ends in the first round, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, before those two guys, I was like, yeah, dude, go get yourself a Jeremy Shockey type tight end, dude. Yeah. And now I'm just like, no! Dear God, no! Oh, my God, no! Don't ever take a tight end in the first round. Oh, my God, no! You're dumb. You know what I'm saying? Ebron had a kick-ass interview. Yeah, dude, that's right. He did. And not for nothing. He does seem like a pretty, like, open book, Lucas was top 150 player on Kuiper's big board. I think he was the highest rated player on the big board to go undrafted. Yeah, so, you see the headline. Listened to the show today, and he said out of 170 targets, ASB only had 4 drops on 114 catches. Damn, dude. That's wild, bro. That's CBS can stay the fuck out of the first round for me, too. Or corners. I thought you did CBS. Corners. I'm getting to that point, too, bro. Like, Terry and Arnold's kind of pissing me off, man. You know what I'm saying? But not for nothing. So is Enos the penis, rake straw, breaks like a straw. So here we go. Let's talk about our UDFA. Anthony Lucas. On Thursday, Dan Campbell was asked yet again about the defensive end position. Campbell gave a relatively boilerplate answer, noting that he likes this unit's length this year, and he did manage to sneak in a name that most fans and analysts aren't talking about. We got some new guys, Wanham and Turner, right? And this pup, Anthony Lucas. Obviously, Derek Moore. We got length and we got size and length and athletic ability on the perimeter. The fact that Campbell came up with undrafted rookie Anthony Lucas' name before second-round pick Derek Moore may mean something. It may mean nothing, but it certainly caught the ear of the media in attendance, and it caught our ear too. Hello, hello. What's going on here with our second-round pick that we all were like, we want a defensive end! Gimme, 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 gimme. And then we're like, oh, hey, we got this undrafted guy that we took. He's fucking sweet, dude. That certainly caught the ear of the media. Minutes later, when defensive end Kelvin Shepard stepped to the lectern, he was asked specifically about Lucas and the team's intrigue in that player was confirmed. I turned on his junior film at USC, and legitimately it was against LSU, and he was a game wrecker, Shepard said. Don't look at the box score. Lucas' performance won't stand out. He was credited with just 2 tackles in the Trojans' 27-20 come-from-behind victory over the Tigers. However, the tape shows something different. Often lined up against LSU's left tackle Will Campbell, who became the 4th overall pick in 2025 with his little bitty arms. Lucas produced 3 quarterback pressures and forced Campbell to have the second worst PFF grade in his college career at 50.9. Oh, that's because Anthony Lucas has long arms and Caleb Williams. Will Campbell has short arms. Quote, if people go back at those 2 tackles that played at LSU that year, they both, one of them, Campbell, was the number 4 pick, and the other, Emory Jones, went in the 3rd round. Those are some pretty good players, and he wrecked that game. So is a guy I had on my radar up on how did we get this guy undrafted. To be fair, his overall college career began beyond that game hasn't been as notable. After transferring from A&M to USC in 23, he produced just 63 tackles, 7 TFLs, and 3 sacks over 3 seasons with the Trojans. It's a far cry from the expectation of a 5-star recruit, but Detroit is hoping they can extract the potential out of a player who once had such high promise and comes with an NFL prototypical build at 6'5.5" with 85 1/8 inch wingspan. It's far too early in the offseason program to see how he'll compete at the NFL level. There's no full contact allowed yet, and the pads haven't come on either. Additionally, he'll get revamped defensive end room to contend against. Complementing Aiden Hutchinson this year will be DJ Wonnum, Derek Moore, Peyton Turner, and the Egyptian magician Ahmed the Hammer, should switch to fullback, Hassanin, among others. It won't be easy to crack the roster, but Detroit is known for actually handing the jobs to those who earn it. So don't count out Lucas this summer. This summer, coming to you from the Meyer Performance Center in Allen Park, Michigan, undrafted rookie free agent, odds stacked against him, a lackluster college career. Can he stack up against the likes of second-round pick Derek Moore, or even possibly usurp NFL veteran DJ Wonnum? We are contending in the blue corner, standing at 6'5" and 1/2, with 85 1/8 inch wingspan, Anthony Lucas, who I had mocked to us a couple times in like the 4th round. Let's go, you guys. Let's finish off strong talking about defense. How we doing, chat? I remember when Ebron got crushed over the middle, and he hasn't been the same. Yeah, dude, it's crazy when those hits happen to those cats over the middle. And they get the Antonio Brown scrambled eggs, you know what I'm saying? Scrambled eggs with a side of Antonio Brown. I'm very interested in that UDFA tight end we got, too. Yeah, for sure, dude. We got, not to be like, oh, yeah, dude, we got these undrafted guys, dude. They're gonna compete, contend. Because that's old lion shit. But there are some guys that I'm like, oh, yeah, dude. All right, fucking Altmaier, dude. Altmaier not looking bad. You know what I'm saying? Are you fully confident in Shep? Rank 18th. Yes, I am fully confident in Kelvin Shepard. And I think he's going to have a top 10 defense, dude. Make or break year for Shep. depends. That's a good, I don't know. What's up, Dad? I don't know if I hate to be like a fence sitter and splitting hairs here with you, Trippy. But like, oh, Hat and Boobs is taking the dumpster down the road. I was like, what the fuck is that sound, dude? It's year 2. Major regression. If we dip out of the top 20 defense, yeah. If we climb to, say, a top 15 defense, you can maybe have the conversation about stagnant growth. If we catapult up into a top 10 defense, though, Calvin Shepard immediately becomes a hot name in the head coaching cycle. So I think what we could be saying, Trippy, is outside of middling, Calvin, just merely maintaining and middling, I don't think Calvin Shepard comes back next year. Either he has a catastrophic fall off leading to termination, or he ascends and is hired away. So I think regardless, we are looking at the final year of Calvin Shepard in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? He needs top 10. I agree. And I hate to be like, well, but the only real argument you could have would be injuries. And I don't want to say the Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch injuries, because those are so well known that you should already have contingencies in place. I'm talking a leg gets wrapped around a leg. An ACL turns into a rubber band that's been stretched too far. Brad Pitt reappears in somebody's foot from the movie Troy. I'm trying to be very vague as to not get these the cursedness put out onto us. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? You see what Josh Hoyt said about Michelle Obama? Yeah, dude, I did, and that's hilarious, bro. I mean, we've all been saying it, you know. So here's the thing, dude. Everybody's like, oh, did you see the clip, of her dancing on Ellen? I'm like, yeah. A long time ago. Come on, man. I've been, first time, huh? You know what I'm saying? Jack kills a player. That's true. Yeah. Cody, exactly. Big Mike, dude. Big Mike. Your mom says, I don't think Shep will be dumped after the season because if the D stays healthy, he will shine. Exactly, though. But the thing is, Mom, to that point, is if the defense does really well, he was already interviewed after last year for the Miami job. And all indicators are that it was an actual consideration. So if he is to climb even higher and perform even better than where he was last year, it's going to be very difficult for us to retain him, which, not for nothing, seems to kind of be Brad Holmes' thing, is, especially. And I'm not trying to say the Rooney Rule stuff, but he does kind of like to have minority coaches go to other teams because then he gets more draft picks that he can trade away for. You ain't wrong, Sam, dude. You ain't wrong, dude. That fucker, like that Ellen video, it's like, well, goddamn, the fuck are they feeding you? You just eating corn, just all day corn. Oh my God, that fucker's loaded, dude. I was like, Judas, praise Barbara. It's one of them flaming bags again. So Detroit, let's talk about Calvin Shepard. They'll be making a slight tweak to the defense for the 2026 season. What could it be? What could it be? What could it be now? One of the things that made Detroit Lions' defense unique, but not necessarily good, was the amount of base defense they played in 2025. Their base defense personnel featured 4 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers, and it was utilized 60% of the time, which not only ranked first in the NFL, but way above the league average of 12% of the time. 12.8 to be precise, not even the full 13. Holy crappers. But that tendency appears to be headed for a change in the Big 2-6. Twice now, Lions defensive coordinator Kelvin Shepard has told the media he plans to utilize nickel formations, taking out a linebacker for a slot corner more often this upcoming season. Bravo, a wise decision. He first dropped the news on Fox 2 Detroit and reiterated the point during his press conference prior to the Lions' final OTA practice last week. Quote, "We are planning to utilize the nickel position more," Shepard said outright on Thursday. Well, there you go. From the horse's mouth. We are planning to utilize the nickel position more, which means that we could be in base defense 59.9% of the time, and that 0.1% of the time we could be using the nickel position more, which therefore means, yes, they did plan and execute the plan of utilizing the nickel position more. So, although it is a very direct quote, to what degree are you going to be using the nickel position more? Part of that decision may be an adjustment to how the league operates, but it is also likely guided by some tough personnel decisions the Lions had to make this offseason. They clearly, and never should have even considered, paying Alex Anelzone, their best coverage linebacker. I disagree. But he wanted and let him go in free agency. They also lost last year's starting nickel corner, Amik Robertson, who often had to sub in on the outside when injuries happened. Detroit didn't find a replacement for Anelzone in free agency, and fourth-round pick Jimmy Rolder is likely at least a year away from becoming a big-time contributor on defense. I don't know. You know, he's flashed at OTAs. Maybe he's not out there a lot, but hey, you know who else wasn't out there a lot last year in his rookie year? Isaac Tesla, right? You know who only had 16 catches last year? Isaac Tesla, right? But he had 6 touchdowns. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? It's not the volume, it's what you do with your opportunities, son. However, the Lions were active in adding to their secondary, signing Roger McCreary, currently the projected starting nickel, drafting nickel candidate Keith Abney. Let's go. And adding a few safeties who could potentially drop down in the nickel position with Christian Eisen and big old Chuck Clark. Let's go. Shepard is welcoming the challenge with open arms. Quote, "It is a lot of question marks right now we are starting to go through as we go. Like you come last year, all right, Alex is going to guard the tight end. Amik is going to be the slot. We do not have that right now, which in my opinion is a good thing because this is the opportunity for growth for us as a defensive team. Good. You have the opportunity to find the best player. Like to get a little uncomfortable to go into training camp and not knowing who the starting safeties might be if we do not have the 2 All-Pro. Not knowing. To me, I bask in that moment because the opportunity for us coaches to develop somebody and make sure they are ready to go when the week 1 kicks off." Exactly. I think that kind of forced change could be exactly what the Lions defense needs. While impressive at times throughout 2025, injuries and inconsistencies left the Lions defense in a worse place than they were when they started the season. Detroit finished the year 22nd in points allowed and 18th in yards allowed per play, both significant steps down from their previous seasons. With an overturned roster and Shepard entering his second season as the team's defensive coordinator, things should certainly look different in the Big 2-6. The question is whether it will be better. You asked what I learned and why I am more comfortable, Shepard said. The adaptability that you have as a coach and player in the league is vital because things well, things are going to change. So, yes, we could be looking at a uptick of as little as 0.1% usage in nickel out of base defense, and he will not have lied to us. So, the question is how often are we going to be in nickel formation? How much are you expecting to have your base defense out there? Where are you in your chat? Let me ask you this. How comfortable are you with having Derek Barnes and Action Jack Campbell being your primary linebackers on the field, say 30% more, just those two, than they were last year? You know what I'm saying? How comfortable are you guys with running a nickel? Personally, I welcome it. I'm all on board for the nickel. Hybridize, evolve, develop the defense, throw confusing looks at them. Let's go. Bring blitzes from all over the place. How do we feel, guys? Damn, Cody. I got to pin that one. That's a good one, dude. I think we should move Arnold to safety if Kirby isn't right. Not sure about his tackling, though. Yeah, and I don't know. Could TA play the safety? I mean, we've only really ever seen him have to be in man coverage. Isn't he traditionally more of a zone cover corner in college? Isn't that kind of what he played early? Or am I thinking of Quinyon Mitchell? I'm not high on Hansy Terrion. Yes, Sam, I agree, but I do think that there's a relatively simple solution to that. They just have to tape his dick beaters shut like this so that he just has fists, He's obviously a DB, so he can't catch the ball worth of shit, right? So don't worry about interceptions. Just give him two dick beater clubs. You know what I'm saying? He's like, just rock him, sock him, robot. What's up, Derek? How you doing, man? Did you make it home, brother? I hope you made it home all good, man. Oh, I can smell dinner being made. Ooh, I'm a hungry boy. I might be like, excuse me, sir. I want some more. You know what I'm saying, dude? I'm kind of getting hungry. I'd rather have Rodrigo than Barnes. Right on, Cody. All right, fair enough, dude. I think Rodrigo has a little bit more fan support than Derek Barnes, but Derek Barnes, dude, he's not as bad as people make him out to be. I mean, he's no, Action Jack Campbell, but he could be the Robin to Jake's Bateman. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could get a little Brian or like Lance Briggs action. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Little thing here, little thing there, little action, little blitz, little here, little there. I love Jack, but I like Barnes. I like that one, Sam. He goes, I love Jack, but I like Barnes. I thought he looked much better in zone. You talking TA? Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. Oh, good. Derek, I'm glad you made it home, dude. I'm glad you made it home, brother. Hell yeah. Barnes is average. I think Malcolm's better in coverage, though. Right on, dude. Hell yeah. American Boxer says he likes Barnes. You know what, dude? Check this out, guys. Let's just do this real quick. Let's just finish the night strong. We got a couple minutes here. Barnes or Rodrigo? Barnes. Cowboy. Let's go. Let's throw a little poll up here. Let's see how let's get a little feel for the chat. Huh? I'm gonna be just I'm just doing my best impression of Terry and Arnold. Get my hands on you guys. Just getting a little feel for things. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I like Barnes and Rodrigo. Right now, I have said, and I will continue to say that I will never not see Derek Barnes getting truck sticked by Jameis Winston, but that is what it is. And personally, I think it's hilarious to watch Rodrigo tackle people because he fucking jumps on them and he latches on with his arms and his legs. You know what I'm saying? He's he's like a fucking gremlin. Oh, well, I'd take Barnes first and second down, Cowboy on third down. Hey, all right, to see. Yeah, and dude, Cody, that who's to say that's not the route we go, dude? You know what I'm saying? That could be. And then you never know because Barnes does have a little bit of coverage upside still, and he does actually have a little bit of pass rush pizzazz. You throw him out there once or twice to confuse the defense, give him a different look, dude. You could be onto something, brother. I was shocked at the pick of Rolder, so do they think he's Barnes' replacement? I don't honestly, Sam, I don't know. During OTAs, it sounds like he's been getting run at the mic so that he can see a lot of just how the defense unfolds around him. I think Rolder's just kind of slotted in as, a nice depth special teams developmental piece. Ideally, if you see Rolder out on the field, it's a good thing. If you're seeing Rolder in a starting position, it's probably a bad thing. But that's not to say he isn't, earned it if he's out there. That's just more than likely. Bad things have happened. Legs have been wrapped around legs, and hamstrings have exploded. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Snake? You finally made it to a night show. I appreciate you, man. Thank you, dude. I know it's hard for some of you morning show guys to get over here to the night show. It is a bit of a shift, dude. It takes a little bit more of, cutting into the family time. I get that, man, but, it is what it is, brother. Today was day one at the new job, so it was a good time, dude. It was a good time. We liked it. It was a good time, good people, good work, good. I kept saying it passes the vibe check. I was like, it does. Y'all pass the vibe check, but admittedly, I need them to hurry up and sign that deal over there in the sandbox. I need my cheap gas, please. I need my cheap gas, please, so that things can be just a couldn't easier, like a little bit of cheap gas, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of that, a little bit of scratch my back, I scratch yours, give me a little bit of cheap gas, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Motown? How you doing, man? Sticks, what's good, brother? You making it down from the snowy north, dude? Good to see you here on the nightly show, dude. I can never forget that Barnes didn't tackle Dak on that sack. Then Dak threw a TD. You're not wrong, dude. What about Barnes ran right past Dak for a safety against Dallas? That's true. Yeah, you're right, dude. Look, I'm not saying Barnes is all that, dude. I'm just, trying to see where you guys are feeling on it, dude. When they say these players look good in OTAs, it doesn't mean much. It just means they have potential. Yeah. Excuse me. You're not wrong, dude. It means that, he knows how to run. Oh, he can get into a 3-point stance. Hey, he can jump high. Oh, he can catch a ball. You know what I'm saying, dude? Like, oh, man. All right. How'd this poll finish out today? Holy shit, guys. That's what I meant when I said Derek Barnes. When Malcolm Rodriguez has a little bit more leeway with the fans. I'm going to be very blunt with you guys. I can't think of much difference in either one of them. Either one of those guys' games. If it came down to it, I'm going whoever is best for that week's opponent is the running mate to action Jack Campbell. But what I was pretty sure of is exactly what I am biased towards Cowboy. I like Malcolm Rodriguez. He seems like a fun guy, dude. He seems like a fun guy, man. Plus, he's got just a motor that does not stop. Let's go, dude. Let's go. So 67% of you voted Cowboy over Derek Barnes, and I have to agree with you guys. I really do. I'd have to agree that it's Cowboy all the way for me, dude. If it came down to it, I'm a bigger Cowboy fan than I am Barnes. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my biasy. If it comes down to it, and you're going, hey, your job this week is to do this, and Rodrigo does that better. Next week, your job is to do that, and Barnes does that better. Regardless, action Jack Campbell, back-to-back all-pro seasons. Inbound. Let's go. Let's go. Did y'all like that fight last night? I seen the highlights, dude. I seen the highlights. Did y'all like Joe Rogan's little tie? I was like, bro, I think you needed to button your jacket, dude. Your tie is and like Joe Rogan stands there and he looks so happy with it, like, but he's so short, with that, and he had a little tie. He looked like a little boy, just so happy to be there. Like, I'm in my finest Sunday suit, I'm thinking instead of edge, we might think about another stud linebacker. Hell yeah, dude, for sure. Barnes is a little bit more powerful. Rodrigo's a little bit more quicker and agile. Yeah, dude. You know what, Cody? If you think about it, Rodrigo's more fluid in his movements. Derek Barnes, more of a guided missile. You know, his upper body moves like Frankenstein. Very blocky in his actions, you know. So, well, boys and girls, I appreciate each and every one of you who bothered to take the time out of your day. Well, evening. Well, some of you it's daytime. Looking at you, Derek, right? It's still daytime over there for you. Who took the time out of your day to come hang out with us here at the Hat and Beard Show. Mad Hatter Nation, you guys are a wild bunch. We're a bastion of sanity in a sea of nonsense, and I appreciate it, right? You guys got good takes, dude. You guys know ball. It's the off season. This week we got mandatory mini camps, which the media will get exposure to, so we'll have some meat to chew on for a week here, you know, maybe drag it into next week. But we will kind of hit a little bit of a slog, right? And it will be kind of slower, right? So we might, you know, have a little bit more filler stuff here or there. We might take a Friday off during this little break between training camp. But, guys, training camp right around the corner. Things are about to ramp right back up, guys, and we're going to be getting into it. Big things coming in the Big 2-6. If you want to be a part of it, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, share this content around with all of your friends so that more people can get into the Mad Hatter Nation, and hit the like button before you head out the door. Try and have yourselves a good rest of your evening, fellas. We'll be right back here tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at YouTube, Rumble, and Kick. I'm James of the Hat and Beard Show. You've been an attentive audience. Until next time, bonga bonga, frig off.